All right, hello. I'm going to give a pretty brief recap of WrestleMania Night 1 and the matches that took place. They're my opinion, so if anything is too far out of left field, that's why. But I've got my notes here. I'm going to run down pretty briefly my thoughts. All right, so obviously Becky and Rhea was moved to the opener, which I thought was fine. I was surprised by it, but the energy immediately, Rhea's dominance, I was okay. I think it was a good move moving that from co-main to opener. It immediately was like a punch in the mouth, like a sucker punch to the crowd and us watching at home. Immediately you're jumping right into the action, no holds barred, and Rhea the whole match. I mean, there was a couple spots where Becky was doing okay, the submission holds and stuff. Keep in mind, Becky had an alleged 101 degree fever, and Rhea's wrist, I can't remember if it was her left or right, was injured. Sore, not broken. But given those two things, match wasn't the longest, but I think given those out of the match factors, that just attests to their ability in the ring that much more. Professionalism, doesn't matter what they're going through. They come in, they do their job, and I called it. Rhea won. Wasn't the co-main, but she won. She's such a dominant champion. I can't see her losing anytime soon. She's supposed to be a heel, whether she's a part of the Judgment Day or not. People will come and see her. She's incredible. I'm a big fan of Rhea. Ripley, Becky looked good too. We'll see what happens with her. I hope she re-signs with WWE. If not, retire. But she's an outstanding talent too. I just think right now it's Rhea's time to shine. Maybe she'll take on Charlotte when she comes back. I don't know. But I think the right woman won that match. Up next, we got the Bianca, Naomi, Jade match against Damage Control. Good match, great spots. I think my biggest takeaway is Jade Cargill looking like a real-life superheroine. She was incredible, jacked. She doesn't mess around. It was obviously she wasn't going to lose her WrestleMania debut. That wasn't happening. The hype train is justified. She's so talented, and the power, she's going to do great things. That would be a great setup, Rhea and Jade. Actually, I'm just thinking about that now. That'd be pretty great. But good match. I'm happy. Damage Control lost. All right, next up we got, I'm going to go with Jay. Jay beat Jimmy. The story was there. The story was there for that match. But it felt stale right out of the gate. The entrances were cool. I liked that. I was, but no, that match felt stale, slow. Yeet, no yeet. That was about the only excitement for me. I didn't care who won that one. I feel like it fell flat, and I don't know why. Because they're both great competitors in the ring. Hopefully after this, Raw after WrestleMania or something, they can pick up the pieces or just do something else. Both of them do something separately. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. We have now Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Sami talking to Chad Gable out back and having his wife, Sami's wife, involved. It was back and forth for a bit. Sami had his moments, Gunther had his moments, but it got to a point where Gunther, I thought, was going to kill him. I thought Sami was going to die, and I thought his wife was going to throw in a towel or something just because of how bad Sami was getting beaten. I didn't think Gunther was going to lose at all going into it. But as I watched, I already like Sami, but as I watched Sami put in the work, as he always has, when he pinned him, I lost my mind. I was so happy his wife was there. That was such a feel-good story. He deserves it. Sami Zayn deserves it. Gunther made that title feel like Macho Man had it or Honky Tonk Man had it. It felt prestigious. In my opinion, the Intercontinental title felt more important than Seth's heavyweight title. That's just my opinion, but the way Gunther elevated that title with his ability and his showmanship. I hope there's a rematch or a triple threat moving forward. No matter what Gunther does, it's going to be gold, whatever he touches. But good for Sami. Sami Zayn deserved that. Good storytelling with his wife being on the ringside. Yeah, I'm happy with that match. Briefly, before I get to the main event, Damian Priest still has his briefcase out there. Don't really know what's going to happen with that. I think he's going to cash it in on night 2. That's what I think is going to happen. I'll get into that separately. But also, Judgment Day might be over. It is imploding right now. McDonough got the wrong guy in that 6-pack ladder match. I'm thinking Judgment Day is done. Rhea can do whatever she wants with Dominic, but I think Judgment Day is over. But obviously the main event is The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody and Seth. The Rock's entrance was beyond fire, massively cool. I am rooting against The Rock actively, and I felt like a 10-year-old kid watching him come out. People's Champion title. I had goosebumps, and not just because it's cold outside, but genuinely I had goosebumps. I felt like a kid again watching him come out, and I didn't want him to win. Roman took about 25 minutes to get in the ring. It was a bit overdone, but it's WrestleMania, so I get it. Great spots in the match. Roman speared The Rock, which was great. And something else, The Rock has been taking a lot of bumps. Something I like to think about is back in WCW when the old guys who were only like 45, but they were ancient. The Rock's, 50? He took a spear and he sold it. He's taking bumps. He's out there doing it. I was very against The Rock doing this whole thing where he's like on the board and inserting himself. It felt Hulk Hogan-ish to me, but he's taking bumps and the story's worth it. So I thought Seth was gonna take the L. I was like, there's no way they're gonna pin Cody. But after it happened, I think that's the best option. I think it was the best way to go, especially with The Rock pinning him. Because if you have Roman pin him on night 1, it just feels flat. It feels flat the next night. The Rock pins Cody. I'm saying tomorrow night, Cody beats Roman cleanly. And whatever happens with the bloodline, not sure, but that'll set up a feud between The Rock and Cody. That's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be weird having Roman without a title because he's been the champ for about 86 years now. But I think that match on night 1, the tag team match, ended correctly. I think it was well fought. Nobody came out of it looking weak. Maybe Seth came out of it looking weak. Maybe Seth. I thought he was going to get hurt. He was getting wrecked. But The Rock put in that sharpshooter. It just felt cool. I was, obviously I'm a fan already, but I forgot about adult responsibilities for a little bit. I was able to sit there and watch the match and just look at the match and focus on that. And it felt like I was a kid again. The right people won that. I'd like to point out I'm 2 for 2 on my predictions so far, so we'll see what happens tomorrow night, but I'm 2 for 2. Whether Rhea and Becky was first or co-main, I was still right. But that's all I have here. I'm happy Awesome Truth won those titles. First time they've had the Raw titles. I love R-Truth. Who doesn't love R-Truth? But that's what I've got for you today. That's my WrestleMania Night 1 recap and thoughts and opinions on the outcome. Thank you.